comrade show with Comrade Lamte Oriake. This is the comrade show.
Hello, fellow Nigerians, greetings to you all. I salute you all in the name of our collective struggle and very happy independence to you from wherever you are joining us from. This is the Comrade Show, the Comrade and Friends segment to be precise. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriake, and today we're going to be looking at Nigeria at 63. Of course, wherever you are across the world, you would understand that today is Nigeria's independence, and there's been celebration from the government of Nigeria, and of course we've heard and we've listened to Mr. President, give the usual address on Independence Day. But a big question mark is hanging right on top of all of these, and that question mark is: it's been 63 years of independence. How have we as a nation fared? It's supposed to be an era of renewed hope. Do we actually have our hope renewed?
No, hold this small one.
Yeah. Do we have hope at all? And is there reason or reasons to be hopeful? We shall be looking at the state of Nigeria just now and looking at all of the issues, all of the travails, and of course, looking at what we should do going forward, hopefully, to possibly have a renewed Nigeria, if it will be possible. I'm not alone. I have in the house a guest, and of course, we equally have a usual face, one that is very well known that to supporters of the Comrade Show, one that a lot of people have been asking after is here today. Unfortunately, our brother pharmacist Austin Iremira is attending to some other duties today, so he will not be with us. Hopefully, he's going to come in late if it's possible. But it's my pleasure to quickly let you know that we have Dr. Tony Agbons in the house. Dr. Agbons, you are welcome to the program, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade Lamte Oriake. Viewers of the Comrade Show, it's my pleasure to be back on this table after a long hiatus. So it's good to be back. Thank you all very much for holding the fort while men were away. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, Dr. Agbons. As always, even though Dr. Agbons was away, he was always doing his own job at the background to keep the program going. So he was never really away, to be fair, to be honest. But we equally have somebody who is, a special guest to this program, Prince Kelly Udewolu. Prince Kelly Udewolu is a seasoned Nigerian politician. He lives in the diaspora, but he's made so much contributions towards the development of Nigeria, and he has a lot of insight, particularly on this subject matter, on the state of Nigeria, as it were. I'm glad to welcome Prince Kelly Udewolu to the program. Prince Kelly, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Oh, first of all, happy Independence Day to myself and to all Nigerians worldwide. I'm honored to be here. And thank you, the host, for us to be present today and have something to say about Nigeria at 63. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for joining. Well, we just quickly go straight into the matter, without much ado. And I'm going to start with you, Prince Kelly Udewolu. The first question is, everywhere you go, all around social media, there's the signpost of happy independence. Is there something to be happy about? Prince Kelly.
Yes. As optimistic I am today as a Nigerian, first and foremost, I hate to think that there's nothing good about Nigeria. I believe that at 63, Nigeria, from amalgamation, independence, discovering growth, identities, and purpose, surviving its tenure, unrest, including civil war of 3 years, a number of schools, incompetent leadership, serious maladministrations and fluctuations, to mention a few, yet it remains one of the most intrinsic countries on earth. And Nigeria, possessing one of the Africa's largest economies, Nigerian population of over 200 million, and one of the most diverse with rich performance of self-sufficiency. We find out that Nigeria today, as 2 we have hope, and the hope is alive now.
Interesting. I'm really glad to hear that. This is some very serious words of optimism. Dr. Agbons, is there something to be cheerful about?
Thank you, Comrade Oriaki, for that question. And you notice I took a deep sigh after your question. Very deep one. Like you have rightly put it, I think this independence celebration of today, even though falling on a Sunday, and the first day of the month, of a new month, I must tell you that there is nothing to celebrate. There's a feeling, of darkness all over the space as far as Nigeria is concerned. We were here when Nigeria was celebrating 40 years of independence, in year 2000. 45 years, 50 years. And what you hear, my brother, is things go better, the country go good. And today, our country is 63 years. I don't want to talk too much. I just want to say, look at a man or a woman who is 63 years old. My brother, that person, if you are working, you'll be getting ready to retire. In fact, in some profession, at 60, you have to retire. Some profession, by the time you get to 70, you have to retire. Some 65, you retire. So Nigeria now, as we speak, is in retirement age, if it were to be a human being. So when you look at all the basic fundamental indices of a country, of a nation, Nigeria is nowhere to be found. And I'm going to be releasing some statistics, as we go on in this program. And brother, there's nothing to rejoice about. And to make matters worse, the last election we just had this year, that people thought, okay, let's start from somewhere. For some reason, some people just they switch off something and they glitch the whole election, especially at the presidential level. So when you look at Nigerians, everybody is just looking for hope, and the hope seems to be far away.
The hope seems to be far away. Yes, fellow Nigerians, it's the Comrade Show. It's a special edition on the independence. The phone lines are open. You can pick up your phone to make your contributions. We're going to make this as interactive as possible. Everybody's free to contribute, because at the end of the day, it's Nigeria and it's all of us, about all of us. And so every Nigerian is free to make contributions. So when you look at the screen just now, you see the phone number is right there. You can send us WhatsApp messages and every other thing. Tell us what you feel, about the state of Nigeria today. Tell us, how hopeful you are about the future of this country, Nigeria. So let's quickly get down. Prince, I'm going to direct this to you. Today, I did listen to Mr. President, gave his, Independence Day address. I didn't see much difference from all that we've been hearing over the years when it comes to Independence Day celebration. The presidents come out to give us hope, to tell us that we need to endure the time, to tell us that reforms, take time and every other thing and all of that. And I don't know if you listened to the president's speech. If you did, what would be your takeaway?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I thank God that we have a listening president today in Nigeria who was groomed from the street and feel the impact. And we found that in his speech, he said he felt it. and feeling the pain of the subsidy removal, just as other Nigerians. And just go to his first speech. He said, I am making a speech today as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as a Nigerian. You see, the first and foremost is when you are in the problem, when you accept the problem, or you are part of taking the pain from what is being Nigerians are being suffering today. That is the first aspect. And he laid down so many things that he intends to do and some policies like the wages of the low income earners in Nigeria, 25,000 naira per month in the next 6 months, which is temporary for the immediate. And he rolled out many other things to in form of palliative. So the fact that when we have a listening president or a president that is proactive to the sensitivity of Nigeria, if only those that are not really willing, I don't say, yeah, we are willing to have a good Nigeria. Genuinely, they are genuinely willing to have a genuine Nigeria or a prosperous Nigeria. They should be able to open their mind, pray for the leaders of Nigeria to succeed and have a reason in fomenting or formulating policies that will better all Nigerians. So, but to me, from the speech of the president today, there are other things which we are going to talk about, which I have 5 other points I brought out from his speech, which was very emulative and encouraging to me. I believe the speech was hopeful, and that was really the new hope that he preached about has really come to stay. Thank you.
In this guys, I don't know how many, yes, I see you, Dion West. You've made a comment, I think it's on Facebook, no, I think it's on YouTube or so, where you have said, I have never celebrated the so-called independence because I know we are modern slaves. Where you may expatiate on that. I don't know what you mean by modern slaves, but let's just take some excerpts from what Mr. President said today in his speech today. Take a listen, everybody.
Dear compatriots, it is my unique honor to address you on this day. This is the 3rd anniversary of our nation's independence, both as the president of our dear country and simply as a fellow Nigerian. On this solemn yet hopeful day, let us commend our founding fathers and mothers. Without them, there would have been no modern Nigeria. From the fading embers of colonialism, their activism, dedication, and leadership gave life to the belief in Nigeria as a sovereign and independent nation. Let us, at this very moment, affirm that as Nigerians, we are all endowed with the sacred right and individual gifts that God has bestowed on us as a nation and as human beings. No one is greater or lesser than the other. The triumph that Nigeria has achieved shall define us. The travails we have endured shall strengthen us, and no other nation or power on this earth shall keep us from our rightful place and destiny. This nation belongs to you, dear people. Love and cherish it as your very own. Nigeria is yours. Nigeria is remarkable in its formation and essential character. We are a broad and dynamic blend of ethnic groups, religious, tradition, and cultures. Yet, our bonds are yet intangible, strong, invisible, yet universal. We are joined by a common thirst for peace and progress, by the common dream of our prosperity and harmony, and by the unified ideas of tolerance and justice, forging a nation based on the fair application of these noble principles to a diverse population has been a task of significant blessing, but also serious challenge. Some people have said an independent Nigeria should never have come into existence. Some have said that our country will be torn apart. They are forever mistaken. Here, our nation stands, and here we shall remain. This year, we passed a significant milestone in our journey to a better Nigeria by democratically electing a seventh consecutive civilian government. Nigeria has proven that commitment to democracy and the rule of law remains our guiding light. At my inauguration, I made important promises about how I will govern this nation. Among those promises were pledges to reshape and modernize our economy and to secure the lives, liberty, and property of the people. I said that bold reforms were necessary to place our nation on the path of prosperity and growth. On that occasion, I announced the end of the fuel subsidy. I am attuned to the hardship that have come.
Anyway, let me stop Mr. President there for a moment. Dr. Agbons, I'm going to throw this directly to you. Why, in the beginning of the speech, Mr. President, like as always, it's a ritual, praise the founding fathers, for what they left us and every other thing. I had cause to think, what we are going through right now, is it a departure from what the founding fathers left us? Did the founding fathers actually truly left us a Nigeria of promise? Dr. Agbons.
Yeah, thank you, comrade. Listening to, I've read I didn't listen to this speech live because it was quite early in the morning. But I was able to read the whole speech. I took time. I read it about twice, so be able to, digest. It's the same speech, normal routine. It's a routine for normal, just like a normal political speech. Let me tick the box. You hear very nice. You hear all the nice, sweet words. We will, we are, all hands on deck. I want to assure you, and I will tell you, by the time we'll be doing the 64th independence on 1st October 2024, this speech will hear something similar again, and is what has been happening. So when you look at this speech, President made some promises, especially with regards to the Nigerian workers, those in the lower grade. It was not even specified which grade, whether it's grade level 6 or level 5 or level 8 or whatever. They're going to get extra 25,000 naira a month and all that. So, you see, you look at Nigeria, my brother, and you just see a country, and we have always been saying this, it's continuous motion without movement. The same old narrative that, government after government are pushing. When I look at this current government in power now, and some of the language, the communication you hear from them, you begin to wonder. But this was the same political party that have been in power since 2015. So where is the continuity? So where is all this going to? A political party that came to power, to reset Nigeria's economy, fighting insecurity and corruption. Those were the three things that they used to campaign in 2014, 2013 to demonize the party that was also in power then, the PDP. So, but you look at it, it's just like It's more of the same. So there is nothing different. So this speech today, for me, does not change anything. So from tomorrow, life goes to normal. I don't know if you will allow me, if you permit me, comrade. I just want to give some part one of some data I have here, so that people begin to understand where Nigeria really is. According to the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, Human Development Index, as we speak right now, on that index, there are about 191 countries of the world. Nigeria is ranked 164. Now, if you look at global GDP, okay, according to world data, all right, global GDP is standing at about $12,000, actually $12,607. Okay, Nigeria, we are $2,884. Egypt, a fellow African country, is on $4,295. South Africa is on $6,776. Then Brazil is on $8,918. I've just used this country so that we'll be able to compare. So when you look at some of these things, you just look at where is Nigeria going, and some of the fallout of this poor positioning of Nigeria, okay, is what we see in the level of poor development in the country. It's not just the federal government alone. State government in Nigeria, they are not even doing better. Many of the states, I don't want to generalize. So state governors, they need to wake up to their responsibilities so that we don't just keep focusing on the federal level all the time. And that brings us to another question, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, which is the issue of restructuring this our current federal system. It is not working, and it is not going to work. I will stop there.
Thank you very much. I just want to quickly come to you, Prince. Prince, Mr. President, I mean, you are an astute politician. You know exactly what's happening as far as policy is concerned. And the Mr. President has talked about, success in the fact that we've been able to have the seventh, democratic transition. You understand what I'm saying now? And democracy has been thriving. And so for him, that is huge. It's a huge gain and all of that. Can you juxtapose this thriving democracy against the backdrop of the current high cost of living in Nigeria, the sufferings of Nigerian people, and how a lot of people are frustrated that democracy since 1999 has not met the needs of the people? And yet, for the president, democracy is a success in Nigeria. But the purpose of democracy that Nigerians are supposed to enjoy, we can safely say they are not enjoying it. Insecurity is high. What's his name? High cost of living is right now is over the roof, and so many other things. Life expectancy in Nigeria has reduced drastically. Japa is on the rise. People are just looking for every means. As we speak right now, there are so many Nigerians that have now taken the crude route of traveling by land to go through Morocco. Some may die, many others have died just to escape the hardship in Nigeria. How do we balance this? A thriving democracy or civil rule against the backdrop of the dividends of democracy not being received by Nigerians.
So thank you very much, Comrade Lampton. First and foremost, I think when I was driving 2 days ago, I listened to late Bob Marley. I was telling him he made mention of high cost of living, and that music was in the 90s or late 80s. Then I told somebody that was with me that you see this issue of high cost of living both in Europe, back home in Nigeria, and all over the world has always been part of our living, have been part of the human nature, the high cost of living, blaming politicians, blaming the socialites, in fact, blaming the elite. But when you look at Nigeria as a topic now that we are discussing at 53, our independence, yes, the president praised our forefathers, our heroes, our past heroes, now our living legends, they are still there because they laid the foundation where we are today. Just again, let me go back yesterday when former president or military head of state Ibrahim Babangida celebrated his birthday. Many people enlisted his achievements, how he built the Electoral, Abuja, the third mainland bridge, so many things. Those are our living legends. And if you go back to the way that things are happening in Nigeria today, if you want to move away from an already existing policy, you are going to self-control. People are going to suffer it. People are going to have some habit time of living. We are going to really suffer it. But to find out that Nigerians should learn how to really bear a little if we are to succeed, because this new president, President Tinubu, had come to the seat of power. Yeah, he was a member of the ruling party in the past 8 years, but he was not at the seat as a president. Now he is there supervising the policy. And now we should give him the chance, and Nigerians are going to move away from the old policies and enjoy the new policies that are being formulated and still under the process of being formulated. And you see what the president said today about the CBN of Nigeria, that there from a private investigator that was assigned to really investigate the policy all these years in the CBN. Because if our economy is to boom, it may march from the policy from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And that is why I was so happy when I saw Senator Labdamo Shomole making a speech concerning the new CBN governor. He was talking about a CBN governor. If you say you want to operate a policy when you were a manager, a bank manager in a commercial bank, it does not work. CBN is about policy making. It's about policy that will favor the people. So what I'm trying to say is that if you compare the living standard of Nigeria today and our independent activity, yes, we have a cause to complain that we are not really living up to expectation, but we are moving to a new generation where we got to have patience, enjoy the dividends of democracy, which definitely, if you are optimistic, rewrite your mind away from pessimistic views. Be optimistic about your country. Contribute whatever you can towards the prosperity of your country. Definitely, you will be able to see the good that is coming on our way. And I believe from what you have just said and what the president said today, President Tinubu, there's hope and there's renewed hope for Nigeria. So we should be optimistic about it. Thank you, Mr. Lam.
Thank you very much, Prince. Yes, you've spoken on the note of optimism. I just want to quickly acknowledge Usaro Saye. You have made a comment to say that Nigerians, are the problem of Nigeria. Of course, I'm not sure if you can expatiate a bit on that. That'll be fine. I equally have Henry Bakare, who is saying, if I may ask, what independence are we celebrating and for what reason? We are still waiting to get independence from the judiciary. APC, INEC, and upper and lower of the chamber of the House of Assembly, the houses, and of course, Nigerian politicians. I mean, it went on and on. Of course, Henry Bakary's, a comment here is on the notes of not very, optimistic, a bit of optimism. Pessimism because of what is happening across Nigeria. I will come to you, Dr. Agbons. Let me quickly establish, okay. As I listen to Prince Udewulu, okay, Prince, He's an astute politician. I've already established that. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? You know, when politicians talk to you, you know that politicians are talking to you. You understand? And you never really are able to get them to commit to anything. You understand? And so this is and Prince, if you could if you could speak more to us as not as a politician, you understand? Because I have brought somebody to this program who's a proper politician. I said, please, just I don't want to come and speak to us as politicians, speak to us as Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians. You understand? Because they're the ones listening to this program. Dr. Agbons, as we speak, the president made mention of this transition, and of course, we have another democratic, process. He's been elected president as part of the gains of our democracy and all of that. And we know that his own position right now is being contested seriously. He has had, the tribunal, judgment favor him. The matter has gone to the Supreme Court. And of course, surprisingly, I'm aware that there's a window open for some other small, evidence to be sent in. And on that note, Atiku Abubakar did go to the United States, to go and seek all the information concerning Tinubu's Chicago University. Can you take us on that? Can you establish that for us so that we can give us a foundation of that? Then we can take the matter from here.
Thank you, my brother, for your anchorage of today's program. Yes, it's true. Nigeria, we have had 7 successive transitions since we started this democracy, civil rule. Is it really democracy? Civil rule in 1999 till now. And we all know that the last election was not properly done. Let's be honest with ourselves, because INEC, they promised Nigerians a lot. And then we all saw what happened, and the technical glitch and all that. Anyway, that is there, and history is there to to judge everyone. And like you said, the presidential tribunal, they've given their judgment, and matter is kicking off at the Supreme Court. In fact, the parties have already gone there already. And then we have the pinching issue of the Chicago State University and the academic records of the president, Bola Tinubu, which the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has been asking for. So just in the last few hours, news came from Chicago, Illinois. The district court there, Nancy Maldonado, she has, given up to 12 noon tomorrow, October 2nd, for the Chicago State University to deliver to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar the academic records of President Tinubu. And but there was a phrase they put there. They said non-privileged documentation. I don't know what that means. I'm not a lawyer. So that is another twist to the whole election saga. But let me also establish here that, knowing how the Nigerian justice system works, it's very hard for them to differentiate an antelope from an elephant, or an elephant from an antelope, or even a goat. Our own judiciary system is somehow, because the way they give judgment. When you look at the judgment that the judge in America, Nancy Maldonado, gave, it's just 1 page, simple language. I've read it. Simple. Anybody can understand it, whether you are a lawyer or not. You understand it. Not the voluminous one we get in Nigeria.
It didn't take 24 hours to deliver it.
No, it didn't take. So very straightforward. Everybody, for the layman, you can understand it. You don't need to be a legal expert. So that is there. So the article is going to get that tomorrow, and we don't know whether a can of worm is going to be opened, because there is the issue of the gender of the Bola Tinubu that went there. But this is just a personal opinion, and I'm going to give it here, put it on the table. It may not change anything, knowing how our justice system, our judiciary is in Nigeria. But if the information coming out tomorrow, if it is what people are suspecting, it's not going to be good for the optics of the president. It's not going to be good
the
for
image of
reputation.
Nigeria.
It's going to cause a lot of damage, reputational damage for somebody who is occupying such a high office. So we all wait for tomorrow.
Now, when you say occupational damage, Mr. President and of course his legal team.
Reputation.
Reputational damage. Mr. President and his legal team, did say when they contested the first judgment that came out, asking Chicago State University to release the same results to Atiku Abubakar, did say that if those results are released, it's going to cause irreparable damage. And now you are making reference to reputational damage, as it were. Sir, I want to ask, given this judgment, okay, is there still room for Mr. President and his legal team to appeal this particular judgment? Because the last time they petitioned the previous judgment and they got it, is there still room for them to petition this particular judgment?
Yes, there is room for them to appeal, but if you look at if you read the judgment, there's towards the end, I think the second to the last sentence, the judge, Judge Nancy Maldonado, she stated that even if it is appealed, they are not going to get the appeal is not going to be granted.
It's
so
going
it's
to be
dead.
denied, yeah.
Yes, it's not going to be granted.
Which means that Chicago State University is compelled.
It's compared, yeah.
To release the results.
Except some magic happen, which I very much doubt, because the U.S. justice system is not like our own. Because if you look at this one-page judgment by Judge Nancy Maldonado, she stated that the reason why this has to be expedited is that so that Atiku Abubakar can use it in the Nigerian Supreme Court, which window for submission of this particular information is going to close by Thursday, 5th of October, 2023.
Prince, I'll come to you right away. Do you want to add something? Go ahead, sir, if you want to add something. Prince.
Okay. One thing clear. I love Dr. Amon. Thank you very much for being there for those that are pure politicians that are in opposition. As a representative of such opposition party to any ruling government, you are very right to make statements, but I'm happy you said from your own opinion. I believe when we are talking about legal issues, common law is different from when we talk of legal tenets. So when we are discussing, those are common laws. And you made mention of reputational damage. Pre-election matters and election matters, I think in the last judgment or from what is on the table before every Nigerian for now, there was a decent election. There was a Nigeria. As I what is on our table based on the judgment we had until it is proven otherwise. So what am I trying to say is that let us wait for the outcome of the Chicago ruling. It says 12 hours. So I cannot say anything now until after the 12 hours so that we know where we are and parties involved know their status and know where they are. So there's no need of saying my opinion until after the 12th hour. Thank you very much.
I know, Prince, as right as you may be in your own opinion, people have right to air their own opinions. You understand the picture of what I'm saying? But the question I want to ask you is, in America, for instance, today, I have written it in my own status. A lot of people are writing the same thing to say that American judicial system is not the same as Nigeria. American judicial system cannot be bribed because people are insinuating that the Nigerian judicial system, they are prone to all kinds of, incursions, people influencing judgment and stuff like that. How do you rate, Nigerian judicial system, particularly looking at the role of the judicial right now in our current democracy? You understand? Because people, for instance, America believes that our judiciary is a major pillar to the success of our democracy. Can you?
Yeah,
Even though you are,
you don't need to. You don't need to say much. You don't need to say much. Let me just go in here as a human, as human nature. When judgment goes in your favor, you don't complain. When it goes against your favor, you appeal it until it gets to the Supreme Court. So we find out that the Nigerian judiciary, or to all Nigerian politicians or voters, if election didn't go your wish, towards your wish, the election was rigged. The election was not normal, was not fair. But when it goes towards your favor, it was free and fair. So also is judgment, electoral tribunals or judiciary in Nigeria. So is it. When it goes towards your favor, it was good. When it didn't, it's the opposite. So yes,
sorry, sir.
we cannot. So what I'm trying to say, let me say something here. When we are comparing a developed nation's judicial system to a developing nation's judicial system, when we are comparing the two, it's as we are just saying we know the answer. If you are giving an examination hall, Mr. Comrade, if it is an examination question, how will you answer such a question? The question you just asked me. What answer will you give in the question paper where you are asked to compare a judiciary in a developed nation and judicial system in a developed nation and a judicial system in a developing nation? If it is posed before you.
No, apparently, Prince, you didn't hear my question. You should have listened
to
waited to hear my question. I was only establishing that the American democracy, that America will call it a developed nation today, that their judiciary is a major pillar to the success of their democracy. And I was going to ask you, excuse me, I was going to ask you, how would you rate our judiciary today, given our current democracy that started in 1999?
Okay, that is the rule of law. Any country where the rule of law is undermined, the judicial system won't be working. It's complete zero. So when we are talking of Nigeria today, where we are talking at 63, at now, when I don't really have a full answer to where the judicial system in Nigeria, you find out that the judicial system in Nigeria have not really been working towards our aspirations. So we pray that it will improve more and more in the nearest future, which the new president stands for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to go to a different subject. Dr. Agbons, I'm coming to you directly with this. I listened to the president's speech. It was quite, some of the things, they were quite ambiguous. Like you said, there's just still the same old, ritual, the same old, phrases and sentences and all of that to make us hopeful and happy and stuff like that. But there's something that stands out in our politics. And somehow it stood out in the president's speech. Everything about our polity is very masculine. Okay? The role of women, okay, in our politics is it's very, very minimal. And as a matter of fact, some people hold the opinion that probably if there were more women participation in our polity, maybe our state, the state of our nation would have been a lot different. How would you, what would be your contribution to gender inclusiveness? Not really just maybe in some cases where we see women playing second fiddle and all of that women taking the job. We've seen it in so many other places. The European Union today is being led by a woman, and so many other countries across the world. I remember the outgoing, whether it's outgoing, I don't know, the Prime Minister of Spain has more women in his cabinet and all of that. And we can see the impact of women, even the UK government and developed nations. How would you, what would be your say to gender inclusiveness as far as Nigerian politics is concerned?
Gender equality and not really equality, I think gender inclusion and all that. Yes. The UK have had 3 female prime minister, Thatcher, Theresa May, and Liz Truss, who was there for a very short time. The current prime minister of Italy is a woman, and yes. I think in New Zealand they had a female prime minister who did very well. I think Australia, one of that country, I can't remember now. Yeah, these have had female. But before I answer your question on this gender, because it's a very touchy area, I just want to say this: what is democracy for? The definition, according to the Americans, who kind of really developed democracy from the Greeks. Okay, because this democracy we are talking about, it came from Athens.
Yes.
So from the word democratia. So it's of the people, that kind of thing. They said democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yes.
So these are the three tripod that democracy sits on. It's a triangle. For the people, by the people, and for the people. So in Nigeria, let's get it straight. The way we are practicing our democracy now, it's not by the people. And I think Prince Odiavolo was saying that as well, that we need to encourage, the rule of law. If it's not there, then democracy is not going to stand. So for Nigeria, let me just say this: democracy have to, benefit the people so that people will live, have quality life. If that is not there, if democracy is only for politicians and their friends and their appointees, then for me, that is not democracy. Because again, I already gave part one of some statistics. So before I answer your question, I want to give the second part of what I have, statistics I have. As we speak, Nigeria, okay, National Bureau of Statistics, last year, November 2022, they gave this figure: 133 million Nigerians are in multi-dimensional poverty. So when you look at the population of Nigeria, that is about nearly 68% of our population are poor. Okay? Then unemployment rate in Nigeria, it was about 33% in 2020. So as we speak now, right now, this moment, it's about 40% now. And this one is very, very sad. Youth unemployment in Nigeria now is over 53%. Youth unemployment over. So you wonder why there is insecurity.
Wow.
And then two final data I want to give. When you look at this information that came from the Fund by Peace, it's an organization, and they have a rating for fragile states. Talking about countries, there are about 179 countries there. So when you look at it, Nigeria is sitting very pretty on the 15th position as a fragile state. Then the last one I want to give, so I don't bore our viewers with too much statistics, is the fact that in the just released global organized crime index, Nigeria is number 6. So when you have all this, and we're also number 6 most terrorism impacted country. So when you look at all these things, development cannot come. So I will expect that these are some of the things that the government needs to focus on, because it's all just talk and no action. So all these are there because democracy must benefit the people. Now to go to your question, which is involvement of our of the women, the female gender in Nigeria, we've had right from the time of Queen Idia, Queen Amina. We've had women like Dora Akunyili, even Dr. Iweala of the World Trade Organization, now she's the DG. So we've had women in Nigeria who have, held their own, and there are so many that are holding their own now. So women should be more involved, and the women too. They should not just sit and expect that it's going to be given to them on a platter of gold. The women have to also put themselves forward, and women should support women. There's something that a lot of men are saying now, that men support men. If you watch some skit on social media, quite funny, but there is some message there. So women should support women, and because we have a lot of capable women, but probably maybe women taking charge fully, not as associate or assistant. They may just be the one that will turn the nation around.
Well, I know you want to come on and you want to weigh in on this, Prince Udewulu. Let me just quickly acknowledge Patience Serabo. And she has said, is there anything worth celebrating in Nigeria independence? As a matter of fact, that is the reason why we're having this conversation. Is there anything worth celebrating in Nigeria's independence? Yes, over to you, Prince. You want to weigh in on this matter? Women,
Yes.
the gender inclusiveness, women participation in politics.
Yeah, there's something Nigerians or the host to bear in mind. I don't know if there is.
I think we may have lost connection with Mr. Udewulu. Well, hopefully it's going to come back. I think it's back on.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm back now.
go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was trying to say something here. There's something you.
It's really having some signal issue.
Not me.
Okay.
Okay. There's something you must understand about the Nigerian women inclusiveness in Nigerian politics. I don't know where you find it that women have not been encouraged to be part of our system. In all elections, right from at least from Goodluck Jonathan, all political parties, you see this nomination of forms in elections. The form that you buy to participate to be part of as a candidate or as an aspirant, most parties women don't pay for it or is subsidized for the women so that they should have an active participation. Women have always been encouraged by all political parties in Nigeria to be part of the system, to participate. So I don't know, there's no party that discriminates any woman. What matters most is participation. Election politics is participation. Convention is by numbers. If election aspirants from women angle, men angles are always out for an election. It's when you are voted to represent that you become a candidate of a party and you go towards the election. And we have seen instances in Nigeria where women contested and stand as a candidate in a governorship election. We have seen instances where women are in House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senate, they are participating. So it's going to take a time and it's going to take more effort from the women angle to be more active and in convincing people to vote for them. So for me, women have always been encouraged. That is why in the nomination forms of interest, everything, women, those ones for the women angle, it's always subsidized or even free. Right from the local government level to the state level and to the federal government level, most political parties they give women the free form so that they participate. So only one way my advice to the women is that it should be more integrated into the fold as we are seeing them. They are ministers in Governor President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Women were there, very active. In the last administration, women were there, very active. In this present administration, women are there, very active. And in future,
they are very few in this present administration.
no, yeah, you are saying it's very few because the board, you are talking the ministerial positions. You are not really talking about the DJs. You are not talking of the federal parastatals. Have you talked about all that board members? Have you been able to get the list of all the board members in all the federal parastatals and see the ratio of women in those things? So that is area where if you don't have the data, if you don't have the data, you don't conclude. Because like in this administration, you will know definitely that this administration will definitely women are in need and women are in other backgrounds supporting Nigeria and supporting the policy formation. So just relax, or you get the data right to see if women will definitely be participating. So women are always be encouraged, and I know definitely more women will come up in the nearest future to the position of even being the president of the country. It's going to be piecemeal. It's not going to be just one day job. Piecemeal, take time, be optimistic, and they will get there.
Dr. Agbons, while there's a part of, I just want to respond to Prince Udewulu, particularly when he said that at the party level, when there is time for election, they subsidize and sometimes give forms out to women freely. and all of that, that women have always been encouraged. That's his argument. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I think Prince Udewulu will need to check that data himself. I know that in the last election, just a little discount, which for me does not really. If you are selling a governorship form, for instance, a political party is selling governorship form for 20 million naira, and then you ask a woman to buy it for 15 million. I don't see any. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So to say that women were picking forms free, I don't know where that happened. In the last election, we were all involved in that election.
I'm not saying I said political parties. I'm not saying
I'm talking
I said
yeah.
political parties. All political parties. Okay, let me say something. Is there any discount for women in this form? Do they offer discount? What is the purpose
They
of
offer discount to the women. They offer discount
for,
to the women,
what
but
is the
it's not.
purpose,
But it's not
please?
free.
No, Dr. Agmont, please. What is the purpose? What's the brain behind that?
Now,
No,
it's still
we're looking at discount and being free. That is the thing I'm talking about.
But I think I'd like us to move away from that subject, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, the brain behind that would have been from the party's angle to encourage women participation.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, I honestly think that encouraging women participation is not so much about the election of women into offices itself. It's more about including women in governance. You are a governor and you make your cabinet 50-50, for instance. Okay, if you have 50% of your cabinet members, direct cabinet members as women, that is encouraging a whole lot of people to participate in politics and encourage others who are looking at them to say, we can equally play these roles. And from there, you would have encouraged more people to even want to go into elective positions. So I think,
comrade, please. Let me ask you a question, please.
yes.
I didn't get maybe you are debating or either you are re-amending your topic on women. Are you talking of elective positions or political appointments? Where are we?
Get me right. It's all the same. What I'm talking about is this. You have looked at it from the angle of election, and women have been encouraged with reduction in forms and all of those things. I am only saying that people can only come out to take advantage of those if they see a lot of encouragement already in participation. And that's why I say that if every government makes it a duty, for instance, to have a lot more women participate as commissioners, for instance, to have a lot more women participate as board, for every woman who's a commissioner, she's an encouragement to so many other women. You understand what I'm saying? So if we have that more participation, maybe at the Federal Executive Council meeting, for instance, we have maybe 40-50% of them as women and all of that. And Nigerian women are seeing that, parents are seeing that, they are encouraging their female children. We still have places in Nigeria today where they ask female children to go to the market and not go to school because the money they have for school is to train the boy child. So if we have this kind of encouragement, families will be involved in making sure that it is important to train the girl child as much as it's important to train the boy child. All of that will come towards this participation in future. I think that's the area I've looked at it from, not just looking at it from the window of election alone. They are being encouraged because funds are being subsidized for them and all of that. I think it's going to be very holistic because in our society generally, women the girl child is still very much more downgraded compared to the boy child. They are not giving equal pedestal, to operate, particularly when it comes to opportunities and schools and every other thing. So I think if we look at it holistically as a society, then that would be, pure encouragement, as it were. So political parties may not even need to subsidize, you understand? But the women will already see it as a challenge that we've got to rescue our nation. We've got to be part of this. Some girl children in Nigeria are growing up believing that they are second fiddle to the men, which is not supposed to be. It is because of
But one thing that if we don't really have the data, both right from the state level to the federal level, if we are not talking about the elected position, we are talking of political appointments. If we go towards the federal parasession or the permanent secretary in most of these ministries across the country, if you go deep, you find out that women are also there. So many women are there. It's just that we don't have the figures as we
Yeah,
are speaking.
we don't have the figures. The figures that I have,
Yeah.
we can just oppose and use it to look at how it will be generally. I have a president who has appointed 40-something ministers directly, and we can count a handful of, less than 20% of them being women and all of that. That can be transposed to look at even all these other data that we don't have. I think that we need more encouragement in this regard. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah,
And this
definitely,
is my own
definitely.
thinking.
I know I support you in women participation in the governance of our nation. I support that. But to say that women are not encouraged, that's what I was talking about, issue of subsidized funds for them. It's motivation, it's encouragement for them to come forward. So also in all these ministries, so many of these permanent secretaries, so many of these things, women are there. But I'm not saying that women are not other much disadvantaged in some areas, and it boils down to our cultural settings in the way Africans raise.
Yeah.
So that is area we need to base it upon. Thank you very much.
God bless you, my brother. So we are still, we still have some few minutes before we round off. I just want to acknowledge that former sister Remy Ren was unable to be with us for this program. He has made some, contributions. Great comrades have been enjoying our discussions today. Happy Independence Day to all Nigerians, and a special welcome to Dr. Tony Agbons. He did go further to say, former sister Remy Ren, to say that equal opportunities is different from discount informed buying. Anyway, I think we've already established that firmly. Now, the next line is, of question is this. We know right now, an average Nigerian can almost tell you all the problems we have as a people, from insecurity to economy to everything, to energy, to power, to this, to that, to that. Given where we are, given the gloom, I don't want to use the doom. Dr. Agbons, what is the way forward? You've given some statistics, okay? And they are very frightening. They are frightening because somehow, even as these statistics are coming and they are quite gloomy, we are not seeing anything to instill confidence that these things will change in the nearest future. Particularly when the country appears to be on the precipice, will be degenerating from, years past. We are not like, raising the bar at all. Is there any hope for the future?
Yeah, thank you, comrade, and for this very good question. I think for Nigeria, and I want to say this again, I gave that definition from Abraham Lincoln. What is democracy? I said is a triangle: government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So when we miss that, it is no longer democracy. And I'm afraid Nigeria is moving towards that. So our elections must count. People must have a feeling that the person who is in power is the one we have elected, whether as a councillor, local government chairman, House of Assembly, governor, House of Rep, Senate, or at the presidential level. So Nigerians are really not happy with the outcome of the last election. So if that election, the last election, everything, the way they promised it was done, Beavers was used and IREV was used in real time, or the way INEC, they were telling us everything.
Yes.
And then a winner emerged. Everybody would say, yes, congratulations. Look, my brother, we are all Nigerians. Political parties are vehicles that drive people to power. Because somebody have to be there. We all cannot be, we cannot be there. One person, we have to. That is why we say in democracy, sovereignty belongs to the people, but we give it to a few people within us, to hold it for us for a period of time. So this election thing, Nigeria, we need to get it right. And people are already speaking now that the Electoral Act 2022 need to be revisited. Some of the loopholes that are there, mandatory, compulsory, not mandatory, and all that, we need to put some things there, some clauses there, to remove all these small loophole, Nigeria. So that is on one side. Then on the other side, for there to be hope, because people are losing hope, democracy must work for the people. For the, I don't like to use this word all the time, common man, but for the average Nigerian, all they just need, okay, they are the three basic things which we find in Maslow's theory, the popular Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is food, clothing, and shelter. So those things. So for the average man, whether democracy, somebody is president, somebody is governor, people don't really. But so long as people are able to get education, good roads, hospital, when somebody is not feeling well, the security, very important. And then those in government must know that they are there to serve and not to be served. All this, your excellency, that is all over the place, we should drop all that. These people are there to serve. They are applying for a job. It is a job. So not somebody get to office and then they just become rich. Like now, for me, why I'm looking at this since May 29. You just look at the government, this government, you look at all of them, politicians. They are the only ones that are happy. Only politicians are happy. Other Nigerians are not, because they are getting all their allowances, they are getting all their perks of office, all the benefits, they are getting prayers in their mailboxes, and so they are very happy. They are telling Nigerians things will be good, have hope. Excuse me, this is what we have been, have hope. We've been hearing this have hope for 63 years now. Every government that comes will say, oh, we are working to revamp the economy, things will be better. Look, my brother, when will things be better? Some people are even saying, oh, the country we are building want to be the country for the future generation. Excuse me, why that is good in itself, but today people need to survive first. The level of hunger in the land now is just too much, and there is an extent to which you can push people. When you push them to the wall, I'm afraid the country may be heading towards anarchy. So our politicians, even as we celebrate this independence, they are all giving fine speeches. They should know that they are there to serve the people. We want to hear, like today, I'll be very happy. President will just announce that because of the situation in the country, all political office holders, all their allowances, we should be reduced. I know it's a democracy, it's not a military government, but they should be taking to that. And I tell you, if they do that, they cut everything by half. People will like, okay, these people, they also want to sacrifice. You can't be telling the people to tighten their belt while politicians are just enjoying, flying first class all over the place with their agbada and babarigan, good shoes, powerful cars. A democracy doesn't work like that. So everybody sacrifice, not just the ordinary people.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abbas. That's quite incisive. I'll come to you, Prince. But just to quickly acknowledge, Coca Ernest, Nigeria election is not perfect, but yet I hope in the future we will get it right. That's Coca Ernest hoping in optimism that we'll get it right. But Dr. Abbas, you just anchored yours on having proper electoral process, having people elected accountable to the Nigerian people. Prince Udebolu, you are an APC chieftain. You are from Edo State. I'm going to give this example. I'm sure you must have seen. You would have observed the last local government elections in Edo State. I've spoken quite extensively about it. And I came on my own. This is my own opinion on it because I was on ground. I had lots of agents on the ground reporting to me. And I concluded that the people that are elected and inaugurated were selected, not elected. No election took place because I had some people that were close to me who were even contesting. They didn't vote. They didn't see any electoral materials. They didn't see any agents in their own polling units. There was no election, as a matter of fact, but results were called in very many places all across the state. And this is not a national election. This is a state election. The independent electoral committee was under the prerogative of the what's his name under the administration of the state and every other thing. Given that particular election or selection, whatever you may be describing it as, do you think that there's truly some hope for the future if we are to continue in that trajectory?
Yes, first and foremost, the elections, local government or council elections in Nigeria are supervised, controlled by the state government under ISEC, the State Electoral Commission.
Yes.
And luckily enough for those that win, and unfortunate enough for those that will lose, the State Electoral Commission are controlled by the state government. And more or less, they call it that elections have taken place and results will be called and people elected. If we are putting the word selected, but to the official record that is before us constitutionally, the council executives today were elected because it comes from the state electoral commission. Not until for example, those aspects now, if you go down to my state, or any state electoral commission have been pulled away from the control of the governor. These scenarios where people complain that it was selection, not election, won't be erased. Will continue to reoccur. The only hope that we should always talk about, which I mentioned earlier, is the issue of the rule of law. The rule of law. The moment we adhere to the rule of law in Nigeria,
How do you think that can happen, given the kind
it will happen,
Nigerian
yes.
context?
Yes, that is area why the head. It must start from the head, the president, the governors, and the local government chairman. Those are the three heads, political heads in the hierarchy. You understand? They must be prudent. They must adhere to the rule of law and make sure that the rule of law operates within their jurisdiction properly. It will not, this issue of complaint we have today will continue. So I just pray, Mr. Kumre, I think that in the last elections, in all council elections, you find that the state governors get it right, what they want. They get what they want easily because they are in control of it. You understand what I mean? So even if you
and that is okay.
To me, I'm not okay. I'm not comfortable with in any state where the governor controls the council election. I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, I'm not comfortable with that position. I want it changed so that it will be from the national level and see if we can have a paradigm shift away from this issue of actual control by the state governor. You understand me? I'm not comfortable with the way the council elections are conducted in Nigeria. I'm not comfortable with it. I want a situation where people have to be represented properly. Elections, real elections, democratic elections have to take place. So why I'm happy with the council elections, if you may ask me, is that people are allowed to campaign. People carried the form, the chairmanship form, the councillorship form. People carried it and campaigned, sell their manifesto to the grassroots people. But you find out that at the end of it all, winners emerge, losers, I don't always call them losers, they participated. They are part of the system. They are able to get raw information of the problem of the people. Okay? But get it right and get me right, please, Mr. Orahi. If we say today that these council elections are under the control of the governor, there are exceptional cases where you find out the council board chairman they perform effectively for the good of the people. There are some instances across Nigeria. We cannot just say people that were that the way it comes or the amount of council chairman was not conducive or comfort to us. That does not mean that some don't perform. Some perform, while some are just puppets to the state governor. Thank you.
Okay, I really would like to take you on this because first and foremost, I believe very strongly in a proper electoral process. What that does is it makes whoever is elected accountable to the people that elected him. Yeah. If I am a local government chairman and I know fully well I was selected by the governor to be a local government chairman, my loyalty is to the governor, not to the people, because nobody can do me anything. That's not the picture of what I'm saying. But knowing fully well that it's the people who elected me, and I probably go to the ballot again in future, maybe as a local government chairman or something else. You understand what I'm saying? It is the same people I'm going to count on, rely on. If that cannot happen, you understand the picture of what I'm saying? And then there's a problem in itself. That's one. The second aspect is this.
Mr. Lassie, let me tell you something there.
Yes.
There's something, you missed some point. Let me just correct something, please.
Okay.
You see, council elections, council boards that are elected are not directly subject to the state governor. They are subject to the local government political leader.
Okay.
The political leader, let me clarify certain points here. You are just talking about a council chairman. The local government chairman is answerable to the state governor.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that people recommended him at the local government level, and those are the political parties, political leaders. Yeah. And he is answerable to the political leaders in those local governments. And the political leaders in those local governments participate in the day-to-day running of the local government, ranging from the tax accruing from the local government, ranging from the supervisory council, the state governors across Nigeria only endorse lists emanating from the local government. And who compile those lists? From the political leaders in those local governments.
Local governments.
And it is not, you know what I mean? The state governors are not aware. They may not even know the local government chairman just being elected. It's the people that recommend them. And the people that recommended them are the people they are liable, they are responsible to. So, what am I trying to, that is what I'm trying to correct. Before I'm sorry to jump you in. I just want to correct that.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's a great insight. I believe you strongly. Yes. You have contested local government elections in the past.
Yes, those are the areas you must understand. So even in the world, in the political world, when the governor wants to, when this election is about to take place, these things happen from the world to the local government level before it goes to the state government. So the local government chairman are answerable to the local government political leaders of that party.
Lovely. Now it still boils down to the same thing. Okay, it's just change in language in a way. Invariably, at the end of the day, any local government chairman that has been through that selection process is answerable to somebody or some group of persons, not necessarily the people who came out to vote. In a case where there was no election, people actually came out. For me, I think that a huge damage has been done creating a big group for voter apathy. In that, in the forthcoming elections, people know that this is what had happened previously. They won't want to come out to even participate. It's just like what happened at the presidential election right now. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I am very sure that in the next presidential election, if things are not corrected, you understand, people are not going to come out, the way the troops act this time to vote. So what would you say to a thing like that? Because these are part of the things that we need to correct as a society to probably have the semblance of a better future. Dr. Agbons, you may want to weigh in on this.
Yeah, thank you, my brother, Comrade Ikponsa Oriakhi. You are very correct there. And I can understand some of the points that Prince Odiavolu is trying to push out.
Yes.
It's politics. And you know how tough it is at the grassroots level.
Yes.
For Edo State that we are using as as a barometer right now, for 7 years we've not had is it 7 years or for a long time? I'm not very sure of the years now. For a long time we've not had local government election in Edo State. So people really came out with a lot of energy in this our last election in Edo.
Yes.
last month. And I had friends who were at their polling unit. They didn't vote. They were just there. They didn't. They waited till like some people voting materials came. I'm talking of even in the township, came around 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and then 100 ballot papers came. It was the thing was
It was highly tribulent.
it was just kind of a charade, kind of. And is what I will say is this how we want our democracy to be running? Even local government is like that. Yeah, we know that in Nigeria, most of the states, governors always make sure that it is their own political party that wins all the local government. Yeah. But I think it is high time those things need to stop. And that is why, if we want to practice democracy properly, again, I go back to that definition. It must be by the people. Yeah. That aspect of it is very important. Because most people believe, and like Prince Odiavolo was saying, anyhow they get there, it doesn't matter. It matters so that people can be involved. And these are the kind of things that drive good-hearted people away from politics. So at the end of the day, when you look at our politics now, it's not looking like the more toggery and the more aggressive you are, the more stubborn you are as a person, the more agberoic you are as a person, the more likely you are going to win election. Just use force, use thugs, use, if you even sabi court, use anything, jaguda kind of thing. Let me use our street language, that kind of thing. So, you're like, they say you need to be rough to win election. So what are we building at? Because now in Nigeria, let me tell you, we have election coming in Kogi State, Imo State, and Bayelsa. So everybody is watching how this election, how is INEC going to conduct it? If it's going to be rough, like what happened in the presidential election and in the governorship election on March 18th, then we are also going to have election September next year, governorship election in Edo State. So our election, if people vote, let the actual result, they shouldn't change the result. Yeah. So if we can do that, this democracy will be sweet. We will all enjoy. That is what people enjoy in other democracies. Yeah. So the way you vote, the way you campaign, how you say your message, that is the result you will get. And if a party is in power and they don't deliver, they will vote them out. In the UK now, a party has been in power in the UK now for almost 13 years. Yes. If you ask people now, they say, no. They're already thinking that maybe the other party is going to win. Yes. That is how it should be. Yes. So not that because you are in power, you will not just use force and use mago and all that. We shouldn't practice our democracy like that. That is the way I'm looking at it across local government, state, and federal.
Yeah, Mr. Riaki, before, Dr. Agmon, you see, you are talking as an elite. You are not talking as an average Nigerian. You see, Nigerians, let me put it on record here, if I may be wrong, but it's my opinion, that Nigerians, not that they don't really like this leader or they don't pray. They pray very well for good leaders to emerge. But their prayer center that this good leader or any political person that have any political appointment or elected to either come from their family or be a friend so that they benefit directly from it. Not that they hate the system. You understand what I mean? So what am I trying to say in Ifeda? To an average Nigerian on the street, when we are talking of electoral malpractice, or the governors are doing selections, or INEC or ISEC are doing this, what you call mango, as you said, who are the people being used to perpetrate this complaint? Are they Cameroonians? Are they Ghanaians? Are they Togolese? Or are they Nigerians that are living in Nigeria?
Yeah.
If an oppressor would succeed, if the oppressed are not part of the system, an oppressor would succeed completely. Oppressors must be willing to be oppressed. and they must be willing to be used. So who are these people perpetrating this act that we are complaining about? Are they Togolese or are they Nigerians? And are they not the people living there? So when the diaspora people are really talking about Nigeria, there are arguments, Mr. Canberra, Lamb, you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do.
When I'm in a setting in anywhere in abroad, when they are discussing Nigerian politics, I don't contribute because I said that their debate is just to share the bottle of wine, drink, because it does not really pass the ceiling where we are discussing the issue here. I will always tell them that if what we are discussing here, we are going to put it into practice in Africa, it will have been better. But the people you are talking about, I was a victim. I went to Nigeria after many years in abroad to be part of the policy. And I know that the people you are even fighting to assist, to help, they are not even willing to be liberated. They are not even willing. They are the people they are going to use against you to make sure that your policy does not work. You know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is that Nigerians are not really, not that they really don't want, they are not happy with God. They don't pray that the next governor or the next senator is going to be a friend or a family member so that they start enjoying the dividends of democracy, which supposed not to have been so. If the oppressed are willing, really willing, readily willing to make a change,
Prince, I want to, sorry to interject, first time since we started this program. You see this last election we had, 2023. Yes. Everybody was prepared. There was a lot of, we all got involved. Everybody, the hype, INEC, they were releasing press statements, going around media houses. They even traveled abroad to say the whole process. And everybody got involved. Everybody, because they said they were going to do it properly.
I have a heart.
Go ahead, sorry.
So everybody got involved. Look, what is difficult in people lining up, the thumbprint, the votes are counted. You announce that, Agbons, 50 votes. Prince Odiavulu, 52 votes. Commodore Yaki, 60 votes. What is hard there? And then you transmit that result. No manipulation. The thing happens everywhere. So that is where we are. It is Nigerians, let's not begin to, castigate or say Nigerians, yeah, we know that there's poverty in the land and all that. People are easily, even so, people even said, if they even bring the money, we'll collect it, but we'll vote our conscience. People, I had people telling me that when I was doing my collecting my data and doing research. People said that. So the institutions in Nigeria, they need to stand up, especially INEC, they need to stand up and do the right thing, so that
who are the workers now? Who are the workers?
I'm coming, sir. So that is where the problem is. Otherwise, we'll just keep going in this cycle.
No, Dr. Agbons, I think you are really on the same page with Udewulu. I think what President Udewulu has said, which I think is very correct, is that at the end of the day, we are the same problems ourselves. We witness policemen rigging for a certain political party in the last election.
Institution. How do I mention institution?
In police uniform.
Yes.
Rigging, beating people to steal ballot boxes and every other thing.
Yes.
We saw it on video. You understand the video I'm saying now? We witnessed, in the case of those states, for example, that we always refer to. I mean, some video, I have a lot of these records, people saddled with security of lives and property being involved.
But comrade, sorry to interject you, sir. Yeah. So you think a thug, no matter how stubborn he is or how big his chest is, a thug who has not been sent a message by one top oga will go and disrupt an election at a polling unit. He will not dare it.
So apparently what you are saying is that the
Edowe, let me speak beneath here. Edowe, and it's one of your popular proverbs. Edowe, So let's focus. These people are at the top. They know what they are doing. These politicians, they want to win at all costs.
So what is our responsibility, the rest of us? The rest of us who want things to be better, who are not in that class, who cannot be swayed, who cannot be bought over by money. What is our duty? I believe we are more in number. What is our duty in this process?
Yeah, that what I put down here, that is area where I'm trying to preach or put across to many Nigerians. That you see, as we celebrate our 63rd year independence and had a newly elected president, let each of us Nigerians at home and abroad rewrite our minds, pick up our green rose-colored glasses, and begin to see what is good about Nigeria. What I'm trying to say is that let us think about the tiniest thing we can do to be the difference we see. The tiniest thing we can do
To make the
to
difference.
see to make the difference. We should move away being just wailers, in quote, with due respect, wailers. We should complainers. We should try both home and abroad, try and see what we can do to change the narrative. No matter how hard it may look, when you start, you say quitters don't succeed. We should try as much as possible. We shouldn't just be pessimistic all day long, 24 hours, 365 days a year about a country that you have no other country to call your own. You see, that's why when the president today makes issue of social register, which I pick from it, that really, you see this palliative social welfare. I remember one late political leader in my state or in my tribe built a social home at Ibadan one time ago. People complained about it, but they really never knew what it means. So when the president make mention of the social register today, to see that bringing more 15 million Nigeria for the palliative, I say yeah, because that was one of the complaints Nigerians talk about last time when he said palliative payments to homes, the less privileged ones. They say, how do we get them? I say, yeah, because it has not really been existing. But when we really start getting some policies or some app or the government website where they have to register privileged people, the people and do the needful, less privilege. So one day Nigeria should be able to have a government, which I believe this government is on the track. I believe other and continuity. When we are talking about continuity, if where this government stop, the another government comes, whether any political party government, they shouldn't kill the policy existing policy completely. They should try and pick the good out from the policy that they meant and do a continuity so that the best should always be actualized. You know what I'm trying to say? Because most time, what we suffer in Nigeria is that any governor, any local government chairman, any president always completely kill the existing policy, try to put in another one, and this thing have only 4 years or maximum 8 years. In America, in other developed countries, there's always a continuity. You know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying in effect is that we should try as much as possible to be optimistic. Contribute the little you can. Don't just remain a mere wailers or a mere complainers. Be part of the system. How did you be part of the system? Participate in the government of the day, because you cannot influence a system from afar unless you are inside. Like Hombre Lamchi show, I love you. You are be part of it. This is part of the thing we are talking about. Awareness. Information is power. You know what I'm trying to say? These are what I want Nigerians to do. Not believing more on social media news. Most news from the social media are not really real. That's why when we were talking official of the Chicago ruling some hours ago, I could not comment on it because I said, let the 12 hours pass, then we now see the next phase of all it all. You understand what I'm trying to say, Dr. Agmons? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prince Udeulu. I've got Friday Wangboje. They tell that man, oh no, don't insult people, please. Yes, I got Kuka NS to solve Nigeria election problem is to change the electoral law to like semi-parliamentary system whereby the loser in the election will also be in parliament and the Senate, where he's talking about change of system from presidential to parliamentary. Well, I don't know whether you have a parting word, Dr. Agbons.
Yeah, sure, I have.
Go ahead.
Very, very briefly, this is just like a salvo, and I just want to throw it.
Yeah.
Nigeria, 63 years. We are 24 years of democracy. For me, it is still civil rule. I'm not seeing any democracy at all. Our elections must count. Before, we say people don't come out to vote. People are not part of it. But this 2023 election, Nigerians came out en masse, came out to vote, but it was manipulated, as everybody can see. So, yes, so let us know that if this democracy must work, it must be government of the people, by the people, then it will be for the people. Because when people know that they don't have to depend on the people to get them to power, they will misbehave. And that has been the bane of Nigeria and most African countries. It's never done anywhere in the world. And then people will just use mago-mago and use force and toggery and all those bad things to get to power. They will not serve. Because when the next election reach, they would have amassed a lot of money. They will still do it again. And then when they are leaving, they put their own person there. That is not how to do democracy. So for Nigerians, I know that everybody is watching. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agbons. Prince, I want to thank you very much for being part of this program. There's another area I would have liked us to go into, but time will not permit us. But hopefully, we're going to invite you again. I'm really going to want you to weigh into some of those areas, because you did mention part of it. When you talked about religion, you talked about culture, you talked about ethnicity, and their roles in our current democratic state is something that we're going to be looking at hopefully in the very near future. Independence celebration, continues. Fellow Nigerians, I want to salute you all in the name of our collective struggle. And of course, we've been discussing Nigeria at 63, how far we have come, any hope. Of course, our guests have been able to look at some of the issues that are plaguing our country. And there's been some source of optimism, some source of hope. For Dr. Agbons, he believes that getting our elections right is the beginning of the journey, And of course, in summary, Prince Udewulu has advised that no matter what it is, we don't have any other country. Nigeria is our only country. We must be optimistic. We must contribute the little we could at any given time. And we must try to be part of the process. And that is the only way we can change, things and all of that. Either way you look at it, we want a better Nigeria. We want Nigeria to change. And all opinions have been, very well, made. Lots of them, I believe me, other people are making some of these opinions and every other thing. I hope that those in authority, they are watching. And of course, everybody agrees, including the president, agrees that there's so much room to improve. We want a better Nigeria. We truly, truly desire better Nigeria. That way Nigerians can be happier. All the statistics read out by Dr. Agbons earlier today, there are definitely some gloom when it comes to Nigeria and Nigerian politics. And of course, it's affecting us, seriously as a people. So at the end of the day, we hope that we will work well enough to ensure that we have a better Nigeria for the future of Nigeria. There's this call that is coming, and I'm sure this caller is calling because of this program. I'll just take this call before we round off finally. Hello. 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 Well, I think we're unable to connect. So on that note, Nigerians, I want to say a very big thank you for everyone who's joined us, for all the comments that we've been getting from everybody, and Skuka, Henry Bakari, Patience Irabo, Austin Iremira, thank you so much, guys. Yusuf Abiba, all of you that have made comments today, Saro Saige, Dionwe, thank you so very much. You guys made the program quite participatory, as it were, and we see you again. Don't forget, it's been the Comrade Show, and this is a segment we call it Comrade and Friends. Help share the broadcast, get it across. We are helping and contributing to deepen democracy. We'll come your way again next Sunday. My name is Comrade Atlantic Monsa Oriaki, and we are signing out. Bye for now.
Comrade Show, Comrade Lante Oriaki. This is